forgot a tool. I'll be right back. As you can see, I'm in front of a mirror. Dun, dun, dun. So today's assignment involves us in understanding that our past is our past. And sometimes when we go into the future, we get these little weird feelings, whatever it might be. I'll go into detail in a second. And we need reminders of our true essence, of our true love, of our true manifestation in this space. So before we get there, first recap for yesterday. I don't know if y'all felt it, but day 11 was powerful. It was huge. I felt energies and just stuff coming through me from the moment I woke up until the moment I passed out. It was amazing. And a little bit disconcerting in some ways, because I think I was feeling a lot of people doing this challenge. And as it turns out, I'm doing this challenge with y'all. Fun, huh? In that space, I was able to just be with like parts of my past, parts of, like old stories or something that was just there. And it was weird because they felt like my identity in a way, but they weren't. And so I was just in this weird space of wanting to like move forward, but let go. And I was like, where is this energy? Why is this energy in my field like it is? So I just allowed myself some self-care. So my transformation for yesterday, I just felt into the changes that were happening and I was like witnessing them. And it really revealed to me that sometimes we get really, really, really scared of change. And it could be on a subconscious level that we have no idea why we're scared of it and whatnot. This may be in direct opposition to how we think of change, how we might I'm going to invite change in. I love change, blah, 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 blah. Congratulations if you're one of those people that do not get dysregulated from change, because I do, and I'm sure that you do too. Well, some of you do, obviously. So it was beautiful yesterday. I'm sure that everybody went through their own types of transformations, walking through that gateway for the November 11th, which happened to be the 11th day of our challenge. The gateway in that essence was powerful in allowing us to get like downloads and stepping into the new form of being. So I'm really happy that we got all of the other days, 1 through 10, in line so that we could have like a better foundation so that we know what to do in case we have to go back to one of those days. So I found myself grieving. I found myself looking into the future. I found myself doing some self-care. I mean, there was some good stuff going on. Like, I knew I needed to be in a space of heart expansion, and so I actually took a bath and allowed myself to meditate, put on some good mental stimulation and like music and stuff, and then I add some rose oil to my bath and just let myself feel and experience what was transforming within me. So hopefully you guys had some transformations too the other day. So for today, day 12, pretty amazing how we're coming into this new phase of the 10-day challenge, and we are going to, hi Dundee, you can hear the footsteps. We are going to now integrate spaces around us that support our well-being and support who we are, the truth of who we are. And it gives us practice at aligning with our higher self, our heart self, the self that we know we are here to be. Because often we are just muddled in stories, like layers and layers and layers and layers of stories that don't serve us, but they don't serve us in keeping us in a higher realm. What they do is they serve us in understanding where we can mulch, where we can allow things to break down and ferment because it's the past. And we are ready to go into the future. So right now, you may be having a great day. You may be having kind of an iffy day, or you may just be really bleh. Whatever the case may be, it is now time to start setting ourselves up for success. And when we realize that we haven't done that is when we're met with a challenge, we're met with some type of dysregulating situation, and it really takes us down. It brings us to our knees or whatever that may be, right? We do need to feel that, and that's perfect. And to be in the space of support for the transformation so that it happens within a kind container, a gentle container, an easy container, and a good container is what we're doing. Probably going to be doing this for a little bit for the next 8 more days, okay? Setting ourselves up, right? We're just doing these little steps. Got to do baby steps on a happiness challenge, the real type of happiness challenge. In case you haven't figured it out, the Shamanic Happiness Challenge, like this one, because it's being facilitated by me, the Shamanic Happiness Coach, means that I'm going to ask you to really look at everything around you. I'm going to ask you to commune with your space, with your mind, your emotions, your physical body, your spirit, the synchronicities in your life, everything, because I want you to get to the space where you can communicate with life in, in tandem with it. So it's like things happen and I communicate, things happen and I communicate. So it brings you more awareness of the moment. So for today, we are just going to do something simple, and it's truth bomb time, right? In the truth bomb space, we are going to make this truth bomb available to us at all times, whenever possible. And that's going to look like perhaps writing on a mirror. Yay! So in a space where it's going to be extremely available for you to always walk by. And the more times you see stuff like this, the more that your subconscious makes it real, makes it so that it reprograms your old stuff. So leave this up for, let's say, at least 21 days, but better 30 days, even better 40, okay? If you need to change it around, that's totally okay, but you want to keep the same verbiage, unless you do discover that you need something new and you're going to move the verbiage around and keep it up for another 21, 30, 40 days, okay? So the messages that's kind of coming through in this space and why we're doing this, of course I drew 3 cards, just to give you guys a little bit of context as well, and I got them from the Spirit Animal Oracle deck. Again, call it Bear and Read. I love this deck. It always speaks true. And what came through, 3 cards fell out. The first one is the Vulture Spirit. So this one says, nothing is wasted. I just talked about how no matter what life event we go through, we are going to be gaining wisdom from it. And that's in the form of taking the knowledge that we've gained, looking at it from like an eagle condor perspective, and taking the knowledge and turning it into wisdom, so that the next time we feel a certain way or the next time something comes up, we know what to do. So being present for this process is very, very important. So that's part of the challenge for today. I'll let you guys look at that for a sec so that you can just feel into the card. Just examining what might be there for you. If there's anything standing out in the picture, really look at that. Okay. Number 2, Eagle Spirit, and it's reversed. And it says, the spirit has your back. Dun, dun, dun. And it's upside down for a reason. So, the eagle comes to tell us that, when it's reversed like this, it's coming to tell us that maybe when we're in the thick of suffering or whatever it is, it's because we've outgrown the space that we're in. We are attaching to a story of our past, whatever it might be, and that's the energy around that story, this container around that story has changed. And so what we actually have is a tie to a different viewpoint, and we want that old viewpoint back. Ooh, that's crazy, right? Another part of this is when we're in the thick of something, to really pull ourselves out, just feel the feels. Of course, we're not denying the feels, we're not denying the experience, but we're going to pull ourselves out of the drama of it to look from the top down, like an eagle does, flies over, and we are going to look in the space of where can I glean more truth about this situation. And what I mean by this is, what is this situation asking me to do? Generally, it's going to be in the space of, I'm not playing big enough. This mediocre self is uncomfortable being in this space. Ooh, that's big, right? What else is there? I took notes. Let me make sure I'm not skipping anything here. Perhaps you are actually choosing to make yourself small for maybe the benefit of another or for the benefit of you because you're comfortable in that old energy and you don't want to let it go. That one can hit deep because mediocrity is generally really easy. There's not a lot of speed bumps, right? And so it's much more comfortable to be in like this constant mediocrity than it is actually to go through the growth and the change. One of the things that's really powerful is to understand that when we perceive an obstacle, it's actually, again, there for us to glean information from. And instead of thinking that we can't fly over it and view it from down there, like thinking that we have to walk through it, thinking that we have to be stuck in the mud, whatever it is, whatever kind of keeps you lower in that space, whatever your mind is telling you to do, we get to actually choose to fly because we're all eagles. We all can soar. We can all go above any circumstances causing suffering to find the wisdom or the knowledge in it and then turn it into wisdom and courage to go ahead and look at things from above. What else did I put in here? Specifically, because we're going from the 11th day into the 12th day, you may notice that before the 11th day, eagles, before the 11th day, you were in a different energy field. And when you go through the 11, there's a portal, it's a doorway to the new change, to the new you. And sometimes we're still really comfortable in the old self. And in the transition of the new, we have to be able to let it go. So maybe you're feeling some mourning for that. And that could come through as grief or whatever it might be. And sometimes we can look at that and be like, wow, I'm so unhappy and whatever that is. And the truth of this is that you have the possibility to be more happy than you ever have before because you're in a new energy field. And the old energy field has outgrown you completely. Again, I talked about putting on a size like little tiny shoes, little size 2s, little size 3s, 4 shoes, whatever, baby shoes. And we're meant for bigger shoes. If you need a reminder, you can always hit up Lisa Nichols, If the Shoe Fits video on YouTube for a reminder of how big you're supposed to play in the world. Boom, if this hasn't done it enough. The last thing is that I want to say for the transitions that we go through is all of that, like this perceived suffering that we might go through when we hit those hard times. All of the BS and everything that we turn from knowledge into wisdom that we're experiencing, it's meant to elevate us. We might think it's like dragging us down, but it's giving us life experience so that we become elevated, so that we use it to create lift under our wings. Because, I mean, like maybe you do need the carpet pulled out from under you. Maybe you do need to be fired from your current situation so that you can get into a better one because you've been trying to manifest it forever, and for some reason your manifestation's happening but you are not following where the universe is, where you have designed your future to go. And so the universe is like, dude, I thought you said something, and well, I'm gonna make it happen. And so whoop, it just pulls it right out from under you, and that can be really dysregulating. When those things happen, we can just sit back and realize, oh, okay, so maybe I haven't been doing like the self-care that I think. Maybe I haven't been present for my transformations. And what can I do to give myself the time and space in this moment to just slow down, put on the brakes, and then rise up and find that truth bomb, that bigger message of what you're supposed to do in this world. The last card that came through, in case you couldn't figure it out, this is going to be a 20-ish minute video. So the next one that came through is Dog Spirit. This is amazing. So check it out. What does it make you feel as you're looking at it? Just a picture, see what's going on. Okay. For this one, what did I put in here? The biggest thing when the Dog Spirit is reversed is, again, I already kind of talked about this, but understanding that maybe you have more loyalty to your past than you do your future. That's a hard one. That's a hard one, actually. That hits me in the feels. It's also here to let you know that this wheel of life that we're constantly spinning on means that change is inevitable. We're always going to be moving through changes, and to stay loyal to your growth and how you're meant to show up in this world. Yeah, big ouch on that one. When comments. When you are not understanding that change is inevitable and you're stuck in the old pattern, then it is time for you to examine your loyalties again and understand where you think you need to be. And if there's a discrepancy about your heart truth or your universal truth, your higher self truth, whatever that would be, what God's telling you, anything of that nature, redefine your loyalty for who you are and how you're showing up. Let's see. What else is I got on my notes? It's fun to channel these and then write them down and get them to you. One part of this is sometimes we have a story about our situations and we might actually feel betrayed by ourselves. Another big one, right? So betrayal from ourselves can really come through a lot of things, like feeling shame or failure or any of these things about just trying to step into our new. And the reason why it's so difficult sometimes to step into the new is because you've never been there. And you've got to build up the support. You've got to walk on a space and you don't know if the ground is going to support you or not. And that's perfectly okay. That takes courage to do that. So the goal is really to understand that life is here for you. You are not a victim of life. You're part of life. So as we go through all of our experiences and we feel the downs, set up a system of messages that let you know that what you're thinking is out of alignment with where you are, with where you truly are. So this old thinking was an old vibration and it needs to go. Or you need to just acknowledge that it was there. You need to say, thank you so much for teaching me that this is where I do not belong. A lot of times, maybe you're somebody who ends up in social situations and you're like, gosh, why did I do this? Kind of a similar situation where they're just you're hanging out and there's not much benefit to doing that and you want to be somewhere else. That is a big sign. So what we are going to do is create somewhere you can see constantly. It's going to be backwards for you, I know. But I got my little Sharpie markers and this is totally in the moment. I have not actually seen how many of these work or if they work on here. And I'm going to use first quote is, and I'm going to put on mine is, I'm just going to write down, remember your higher self first. I'm trying to put it in somewhat cool. I guess I'll just put it right here. Can you see that up in here? Kind of. Okay. I'm going to say, remember to connect to your higher self. Gold is not a good color to use. Connect to your higher self. So I'm going to highlight that because it needs some highlighting. I can't really read it on that thing. So let's do some pink. Let's see if this works. Pink is kind of going to work, but again, not right over something. So I'll re-highlight this in a second. But another one is going to be the suffering you feel is the energy of your past that is no longer. I'm going to actually say the suffering you feel is a story that is no longer aligned with your future. The suffering you feel is a story that is no longer aligned with, feels no longer aligned with the, I'm going to say the energy of your future. Dun, dun, dun. And then I'm just going to kind of make it so that it can be seen every time I walk by it, okay? So, ooh, actually, silver works really well. I love this. I'm going to rewrite these all in silver. So, I'll do that. Well, you guys, the assignment is to create something that you can see all the time. You can just post this like a sticky notes or at your house or maybe on the mirrors. I always like the mirrors because you're always going to check yourself, especially if it's on the next to the door on the way out or when you're getting ready. So that is your assignment today, is create a message that is channeled from your higher self, from the true heart of you, that you know what is going in your, where you're going into your future. We got some downloads yesterday, probably, of who you are, who you're meant to be, where you're going, what you're learning, all that good stuff. And now it's time to reinforce that. So we're creating a foundation of reminders to help us so that we can transition from any old energies that we're moving through into new ones. Adopt the new ones. Be the new you. Be in the space where it's like, I had no idea that this life could get any better than where it's going. And then it's going to keep going and going and going. And you're just like, wow, it's even better than where I thought. Holy moly. So give yourself permission to wow yourself. To-do. There you go. So thank you very much for watching. Again, use the hashtags of 90-Day Happiness Challenge and tag me, the Shamanic Happiness Coach. Matthew Embrey-McClain Shamanic Happiness Coach. Also, what else was I going to say? Lastly, for everybody who is participating, goes through days 1 all the way up until the new year, gets half off of a ticket for the Shamanic Manifestation Workshop. That is the New Year Shamanic Manifestation Workshop. Cool thing about it is we go into some huge details about who you are, how you're showing up, and we use science and neuroscience and the study of ancient metaphysics and all those things. We bring those together and create an outline of who you are, where you're going, how to change, all these other things. So it's very, 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 very valuable. Super impressed with how it's come together in the transformation from people last year. So everybody who goes from 1 to 60 and do it all the way to the new year, you get half off of the ticket to go into that space. What does that look like? 2 days of intense, fun, knowledge, learning, expansion. We're going to do fire ceremony, cacao ceremony, lots of fun. And then we're also going to go ahead and do on day 3, everybody who is in the Shamanic Manifestation Workshop actually gets a free ticket into the first Reiki training, Holy Fire Reiki training 1 and 2 that I'm doing for the year, and that's on the 3rd. So just in value-wise, it's already the price, the workshop is already the price of just the Reiki training, or vice versa. So it's pretty cool. If that's something that interests you, you can always drop me a line. If you need help with any of this, please reach out. My information is on the Facebook page, also my website, shamanichappinesscoach.com. Love you all, and I'll see you tomorrow.